Today, we're talking about one of the most important and often underestimated parts of financial planning: medical expenses before and after Medicare. Healthcare costs don't just affect our monthly budget, they influence when we retire, how long our money lasts, and how secure we feel about the future. And the challenge is that healthcare expenses are not static. They change depending on your age, employment status, and the type of coverage you have. In this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step how the Boldin Planner models healthcare expenses across every major phase of life, before Medicare, during Medicare, and later in retirement, so you can plan with clarity instead of guesswork. Welcome back to Reflections in Real Talk. I'm Judy. On the screen, let's look at expenses in healthcare. Boldin treats healthcare as a core planning category, not an afterthought. Everything related to medical, Medicare, and long-term care costs live right here. Let's start with medical expenses before Medicare, which generally apply before the age of 65. Before Medicare, healthcare costs can vary widely depending on how you're insured. If you're still working and covered by an employer-sponsored plan, Boldin assumes premiums coming out of your paycheck are already handled through the payroll. What you must model here are your out-of-pocket costs, things like additional premiums, deductibles, co-pays, prescriptions, and services that aren't fully covered. If you're self-employed, retired early, or purchasing coverage on your own, this is where things change. For people using the Affordable Care Act marketplace plans, Boldin allows you to model healthcare by having you enter the premiums and out-of-pocket costs you expect to pay as reoccurring medical expenses. It's very important to be clear here. Boldin does not calculate ACA subsidies. It does not track federal poverty level thresholds, and it does not automatically increase premiums as your income rises. That means if you're on an ACA plan, you are responsible for monitoring your own adjusted gross income, because changes in income from Roth conversions, capital gains, or additional work can directly affect what your premiums will be. In Boldin, we're modeling what you expect to pay, not what the ACA determines for you. If your income changes, you'll want to come back and manually update these numbers so your plan stays accurate. Because ACA subsidies are complex and income driven, I've created a separate in-depth video that walks through how ACA subsidies work, how the federal poverty level is calculated, and how to monitor your income so you don't get surprised by higher premiums or subsidy repayment at tax time. You'll see a link to that video on the screen now, and I've also placed it in the description below so you can watch it after this one. Next, if you're bridging Medicare using COBRA or a retiree employer health plan, those premiums are also entered here as reoccurring medical expenses for the years they apply. This is also where many people forget to include dental, vision, and hearing costs, and those expenses matter. Dental and vision care are often underestimated, especially because traditional Medicare does not cover most dental or vision services. Including these expenses helps keep your plan realistic both before and after Medicare. Now, let's move into Medicare, which is where many people start to feel overwhelmed. But Boldin actually makes this much easier to understand. On screen, let's scroll to the Medicare expenses section. Boldin allows you to model Medicare in two ways. You can use the built-in Medicare Estimator, or you can itemize Medicare costs manually. The Medicare Estimator pulls average cost data from Medicare.gov and includes premiums, deductibles, prescriptions, dental, vision, and out-of-pocket costs, adjusted for medical inflation and your state of residence. On screen, we want to open the Medicare Estimator. Here you can model different types of Medicare coverage. You can select Original Medicare, which includes Part A for hospital coverage and Part B for medical services. You can add Part D for prescription drug coverage. You can model Medicare Advantage, also known as Part C, which bundles coverage through private insurers. You can model Original Medicare paired with Medigap policy, which helps cover gaps in Parts A and B, and add a drug plan as well. Boldin doesn't tell you which option is better. Instead, it allows you to see how different choices affect premiums versus out-of-pocket exposure over time, which is exactly what long-term planning is about. Here's a shout out to another YouTuber, Erin Talks Money, who did an amazing job detailing Medicare expenses. I'll put a link to her videos in my description below. She really did a fantastic job. Income also plays a role in Medicare costs. Boldin automatically factors in IRMAA, IRMAA, income-related monthly adjustment amounts that increase Part B and Part D premiums when income exceeds certain thresholds. So as you can see here, Boldin's built in the IRMAA income thresholds and fees for both married filing jointly and single filer for 2026. This is located under Insights IRMAA. And then this is the top of that page here. There's a little explanation here so you can read through that material. You can see at an income level of $218,000 or MAGI or MAGI. And if you hover over the question mark, you'll see some tips hidden right in plain sight. So this just explains what MAGI is, how it's derived, and at that level there are 0 additional fees for both Part B and Part D. But if you get to the next tier, $274,000, you will pay an extra $81 for Part B and $15 for Part D, and so forth and so on. Then it's just as easy as clicking on the single filer thresholds. You can see if you hit the $109,000 mark, you also have no Part B additional fees or Part D additional fees. However, if you reach the $137,000 income tier for MAGI, you will have to pay $81 in additional Part B fees and Part D as well, and so forth and so on. So when you're thinking about drawing income from your investments, doing Roth conversions, working, remember all that adds up, and those can trigger your IRMAA thresholds. As I scroll down here, you see a chart here, your modified adjusted gross income or MAGI. And just as a reminder, your IRMAA payments are determined by your MAGI or MAGI from 2 years earlier. So the IRMAA you would owe in 2030 is dictated by your 2028 earnings. Here you can hover over the chart and see what your adjusted gross income is. If you look at the numbers on the right, that's reflected over there. So you can see that this couple is still in their working years here, and then it drops down significantly and goes up from there. And if you follow this down, if you keep scrolling, you're also going to see right here in 2050 is when they trigger IRMAA for this couple at this income level. And then following it all the way down, what are your next steps? Reducing income. If you wish to avoid or reduce IRMAA, you may want to take steps to reduce it by concentrating tax deductible spending like charitable giving, purchase of long-term care insurance, or maxing out qualified medical expenses. You can also strategically do Roth conversions to reduce taxable withdrawals as another option. So here you've got a link right here to investigate Roth conversions, and you may also want to look at Tax Insights, the Roth Conversion Explorer, and using the detailed budgeter to specify tax deductible expenses. Lastly, I don't want to overlook this really important point. It's at the bottom, but that doesn't mean it's less important. You can appeal IRMAA, and I love how they put this right on the page. You can always appeal IRMAA if your financial situation has significantly changed. So if you had high income 2 years ago, but much lower income in the year where IRMAA is due, visit the Social Security Administration to learn about appeals. So for example, if you're working full-time, earning a significant amount of money, and that tax return is used to calculate IRMAA, this is when it might be a good time to appeal. There are other opportunities for appeals as well. If you're still working past age 65, or if you have military or government coverage such as TRICARE or FEHB, Boldin allows you to reflect employer-sponsored or alternative coverage so Medicare premiums aren't double counted. For military, federal, or U.S. civilian employees or eligible family members to model retiree, FEHB, or TRICARE for Life as a secondary health insurance plan after age 65 and also enroll in Medicare Part B. First choose Itemized, then list your Medicare Part B with your start date and your stop age toggled on Lifetime, and click Save. Next, you'll want to add the retiree Medicare premium, either TRICARE, FEHB, etc. Enter that amount, your start age, and Lifetime. Next, you'll want to list any out-of-pocket expenses. Enter that amount, your start age, and stop age, Lifetime, and you're done. On screen, I'm in the expenses and healthcare section again, and here I'm selecting the coverage for the spouse, and make sure to click Estimator, and here you can clearly see we have the option for employer sponsored coverage, and click Launch Estimator. Will your spouse have employer sponsored Medicare coverage? And in this instance, we're going to select yes. Once we've toggled the employer sponsored option, it does show the Medicare coverage type up here.
And that's the plan this user will have after their employer-sponsored coverage ends in January 2040 through longevity. What we want to focus on is the employer-sponsored Medicare coverage here. And if you click the pencil, you can see that you can detail the total out-of-pocket costs. Now, generally, these employer-sponsored plans do not cover you throughout your lifetime. So you'll want to click an end date when that coverage will terminate. And I've just included the age 70. Now, when I hit next, you'll see that it tallies it up for the year 2400. And when I click save, you can scroll down and you can see that this spouse has this employer coverage from 65 until 70. And if you look over on this estimated expense chart just to the right of this section, let's look at the year 2035 when the spouse is 65, and you can see the medical coverage both spouses is $6,060. And then you hover over the next one, it goes up a little bit with medical inflation. And now let's go to when the spouse is 70, and you can see that it jumps up significantly to $9,200. So that's when the Medicare kicks in. And that's how you can model employer-sponsored medical coverage.
In higher expense years, medical costs may also become tax deductible. Boldin allows eligible medical expenses to be marked as tax deductible, and it automatically compares standard versus itemized deductions each year and applies whichever is more beneficial. Let's look again on screen.
So here we are again in expenses and healthcare, and I'm going to model the $25,000 expense. You can model that using the detailed budgeter. Click that edit tool and find a correct category. I've selected personal care, and again, just add another item, extraordinary medical expenses, annually $25,000, and it's 100% tax deductible. And then the start and stop is the same month and year. And then what Boldin will do will tally up all of your tax deductible expenses and compare it against the standard deduction, and whichever is higher will be the one that's applied.
We also need to talk about long-term care. Boldin includes built-in long-term care assumptions, which you can accept, adjust, or customize. Long-term care is modeled separately because it's unpredictable and potentially very expensive. And including it helps stress test your retirement plan against one of the biggest financial risks later in life. On screen, let's look at the long-term care assumptions.
All right, so here we are under expenses and healthcare, and it's worth pausing here for just a moment and realizing that all of these medical expenses, if they are indeed projecting out in the future, are going to use under rate assumptions the medical inflation rate. Here we've got the historical average 3.36 as opposed to the general inflation rate, which I have in this plan is 2.54. That's why it's important to enter those in the correct location in medical expenses. With that one exception, I indicated those one-time expenses because that was modeling the accurate amount for that year in order to capture the tax deductible expense. But for long-term care, let's click on this. Now we've got a couple different items modeled out here. And what I want to point out to you is that Boldin does have some great tips that pop up right in plain view. And those are what I call the golden nuggets. So here, let's look at the first option, have a long-term care policy. So in that case, here's the golden nugget. Boldin is telling you right here that it is going to model 80% of the long-term costs will be covered for 28 months prior to longevity. Boldin will estimate that for the last 28 months of your life, the long-term care cost of $180,000. But in this case, because you've got that long-term care policy, they're assuming that that will cover 80% of your costs and you'll be responsible for the remaining 20%. You can see that here in these burgundy bars. Now keep in mind, I've also got a spouse in this plan, so those are going to be a little bit inflated, and you can see there's more than 3 bars in a row. That's because we've got the spouses passing away one right after the other. Now, if you can estimate those expenses and have a closer idea, you can add additional expenses for those as well. And then you might also model plan to purchase a long-term care policy. So again, it's going to apply that 80% coverage, but you obviously must include the cost of this insurance in your expense. So you have to model an expense for that. The third choice is to purchase a deferred lifetime annuity, and that is another option. Similarly, you'll need to add the deferred annuity continuity to the plan. The next choice is plan to use home equity, and that's quite common. People will assume that Boldin has modeled that for you, but it actually does not. So what it does is it will default again to that $180,000 for the last 28 months of longevity, and then you must also tell Boldin to close the loop on this assumption by either getting a reverse mortgage or selling your home to fund a nursing home. So you must go back into home and real estate and model that. And I covered that in my last video, so you can watch that if you'd like to review that. You can also plan to use up savings and try to qualify for baseline through Medicaid. So if you are going to use up all of your funds, that would be a possibility. But in some ways, this is actually saying that you're going to self-fund. And then the last one, you will never require any kind of long-term care or plan to rely on a family member for the care. So when you do that, it gives you a nice warning here. We do not recommend that you choose the selection. However, if you retain the selection, the calculator will not model the cost of this care. We will not include the projected costs in our analysis for you. You can turn that off, and you see those last 3 bars disappeared over there. Let's do this for both of them. Make those both go away. Let's see. Now they all went away. Okay. So if I select that for both of them, you can see there's no burgundy bars there. Now let's add home equity. It's putting those bars back in. And again, you must cover that. That's just showing the expense. Remember, this is the estimated expense chart. You must cover that with an income stream. All right, so that's a wrap on expenses and healthcare.
Quick pause here. If you'd like to explore all of this using your own numbers, I've included my Boldin affiliate link in the description below. Using that link helps support Reflections in Real Talk at no additional cost to you. The most important takeaway is this: healthcare planning isn't one decision, it's a series of transitions. Boldin gives you a way to model these transitions intentionally, whether you're self-employed, on the ACA, working past 65, choosing between Medicare Advantage and Medigap, or planning for long-term care. This isn't just about the numbers, it's about peace of mind. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out the ACA deep dive video and my Boldin affiliate link in the description. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me what stage of healthcare planning you're in right now. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, keep reflecting and keep it real. I'll see you in the next video.